Right? I can't pretty sure on the schedule.
I'm not sure, but we're live. Hey, everybody, welcome to the 18th episode of the Game Junction Podcast with our guest, Retro Mod Rob. How's it going?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure having you on, so there's tripping on my
Welcome,
words.
sir.
How's everybody else doing right now?
I'm cleaning my phone. Hi.
Hi.
Pretty good.
Doing good, Shane?
Oh, yeah. We're getting
He
into
looks
the
festive.
spirit. Yes.
No, we had
I'll have mine on as soon as I shoot Hans Gruber and take it off his cold, dead head.
Yes. As is tradition.
Yes, as tradition.
What are you saying, Brandon?
Pretty cool week in gaming. I mean, some interesting stuff happened this week. Something different to talk about. Some new gaming news. Me and Mark streamed the Game Awards. That was pretty cool. I mean, it was fun just to do it. It's
a good long stream.
together.
Pretty unique for sure.
Hit like 3 hours streaming, so it's pretty
Just
cool.
ignored whenever somebody was on stage. Only cared about the actual game announcements.
Especially the Bill Clinton kid.
Yeah,
I was about to say, you caught Bill Clinton kid, right? That was
we
the
did it.
highlight.
Yeah, we missed it completely.
While we were alive, we
Oh,
missed
no.
it. We didn't know that happened. So
That shit was a trip.
Yeah, it was
that's
definitely.
funny.
Yeah, I didn't get to see it live. I watched it later, and of course, I skimmed through all the BS. And so, there was some good stuff here and there, but it was pretty much a shit show. I mean,
We've all known it was going to be Elden Ring since, I don't know, day one when that game dropped.
Does anybody ever watch it for the awards? I mean, we're all watching it for game trailers and
exactly.
And there was definitely they definitely dropped a lot of good trailers. And I mean, obviously, who else was going to win Game of the Year? It was going to be Elden Ring. It was like unmatched.
Or God of War, one of the two. But yeah, Elden Ring, essentially, we knew that was going to happen.
Hey, we got CM Retro Gaming in the chat. What's up, man?
Hey.
So, going through some of these notes, there's some going on about FTC suing Microsoft to stop Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard.
Yep, they sure are.
I didn't know this was a thing going on, to be honest.
I didn't either. I never saw
It's
it.
probably why Phil Spencer looked so not too happy to be at the gaming awards. I mean, other than he's Phil Spencer and he didn't want to be at the gaming awards. But yeah, so they're suing because of antitrust, that kind of a thing, and I'm sure that's making PlayStation, Sony, very, very giggly and happy. Like,
I don't know. This seems like standard corporate trying to stop stuff. I don't think it's going to change anything.
I don't think anything's going to change. No,
I don't think it'll change.
Times.
I don't think it'll change anything either. But it doesn't seem standard because sometimes things just go through and sometimes they don't. I mean, look, with Bethesda and stuff like that, they just bought them and that was it. A couple other properties I can't recall right offhand.
Did you just say Bethesda?
Yeah, whatever. I can never pronounce
Bethesda.
Bethesda. Thank you, dude. I can always see
Tomato.
It's proof. It's proof that I am somehow dyslexic, and I was never diagnosed because I always see it in my head one way, I pronounce it the wrong way, and then somebody corrects me, and I go fuck. So,
do you guys know the? It's like a music company, and they make guitars and stuff called Behringer.
I think I've heard of it.
Okay, for years I called him B-Ringer.
Sounds like something a 10-year-old would call him.
This will not be the first time you hear me say that. So just remember that. But yeah, and then the other thing that they were talking about with that was, of course, here's Nintendo. They're going ahead and they're signing a deal with Microsoft, and from my perspective, they're like, oh yeah, let's sign a deal with Microsoft for this for Call of Duty to be put on Nintendo consoles for the next 10 years, and it's just like, you don't even own it yet. I mean, that'd be like me going next door to the guy next door, and I'm like, hey dude, I'd like to buy your couch. And he'd be like, well, I got to think about it for a while. Well, I got the $100 right here. No, let me think about it. And then all of a sudden, I'm having a party on his couch the next night. You can't do that shit.
This is my new couch.
This is my new couch. No, it's not. I haven't even sold it to you yet. So, and then I think it's kind of funny how people are going, because I even heard this from 2 other big YouTubers. They were like, this is proof there's going to be a Switch Pro. And I'm like, no, it's proof that it's just going to be on a Nintendo console.
It is.
Let's not forget, we had Call of Duty on a Wii.
Yes.
Yeah, and DS.
You can put in anything.
And Wii U.
Yeah.
And 3DS.
So moving forward with some stuff, we had some pretty big gaming announcements at the Game Awards. One that I don't think we were uber surprised about, but it was a nice surprise, was Death Stranding 2.
Yeah.
I thought the
walking simulator.
I thought the first game
walking.
had a good story, but it's all like you might as well just watch all the cutscenes because the gameplay is lackluster. So hoping there's more there with the gameplay on this one.
Likewise, I wanted to like and get into that game so bad, and I legitimately tried hard for a good few weeks, and I finally just had to put it down and write it off as I can't get into it.
I hear that there is more to do with the director's cut. I haven't played it yet.
I haven't played it either.
Yeah, they give you another pair of shoes so you can walk more.
Faster.
The ratings I saw, like for the director's cut over like the regular game's pretty good. Like people's reviews, like, hey, you actually get to do a little bit in the game. You got a ton of other quest type stuff or whatever it is that's going on in the game. And I don't know. It seems like if you haven't played it yet, that's the version to play. But I don't know that it's going to be something for everybody still. So
yeah.
Hey, I'm hoping it's something cool. I'd like to see something cool out of it. I want it to be good. I mean, one of my favorite video game directors of all time made some of the games of my childhood. So
well, yeah, but I mean, McDonald's used to make good hamburgers too, and now they don't. I mean, well, we all do, but this was his least profitable game, and it was the most critically panned game, and yet he basically made a game called Mailman the Game. In the Apocalypse, and he's going to make Mailman the Game in the Apocalypse Part 2 with a girl. Okay. Oh, and by the way, Daryl's now older. I mean, pass. Sorry. Give me another Metal Gear Solid, and and we'll be happy.
I love conceptually what they wanted that game to be, and I can't just help feel that it just fell short at some point, and that it was kind of like hey, let's maybe change the direction. I don't know. It's kind of confusing.
Well, do you remember the trailers all being about a stupid baby?
Exactly. Yeah, like watching the original trailers when they first started showing it off. I mean, it really seemed like it was, I don't know, different than what we got when it came out.
I just want to put in, because I did pull up the Metacritic. Death Stranding got an 86 from the critics on Metacritic, and the user score is a 7.8, so I wouldn't say that's panned.
Yeah, that's something. No, I've generally, for the most part, heard fine things about it.
Yeah, but that's on Metacritic. I mean,
it's an accumulation of 54 critical reviews, so the general outcome with that is obviously the user score is a little bit lower, but I mean it's still respectable to some degree.
And you were right, but a lot of the time when I would see people reviewing it, they would all be saying the exact same thing that I just said. It's called Walking Postman the Game. And
I feel like that just became a meme, and it just became like the trend to nag on it after a while.
I mean, stereotypes are there for a reason sometimes. There you go.
Yeah, fair enough. Was anybody surprised about the Hades 2 announcement?
Yes.
I was.
mean, yes and no.
I was surprised.
Super happy. I'm happy.
I thought that they were just going to release DLC and that would be it.
Mm-hmm.
For now.
We never saw any DLC for the original one, did we?
No,
there was like...
Did they?
Oh, man.
I don't recall there being any.
I don't remember. I know I didn't get any. I thought for some reason I saw something.
Yeah.
I never even finished it.
It's cool.
I mean, I started it up, and then I got busy with other stuff, and I was like, well, I'll go back to it, and I haven't even touched it. But it's a beautiful game. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brandon, you were about to say something before I cut you off for a little bit.
Oh, I mean, I just think that, like, generally, like, that's a pretty cool announcement. I was going to bring up one of the other ones. I don't know.
I got the list of, like, all the games right next to me for what they talked about, or what was shown there, so...
I know a lot of people were super happy about Hades 2. Yeah, I would have expected, like, an expansion or some kind of big DLC before another game.
Making a whole new sequel to the game.
It looks cool.
Should be doped. I know. What you saying?
They did it a lot faster than Diablo 4 came out, huh? By Blizzard and Activision.
But which we have a release date for now.
Yeah,
I
finally.
guess we moved to that one.
Sometime in
Diablo
2023.
4. Yeah.
It was June, I think I got the email
June
yesterday.
6th.
6th? Yeah. Mhm.
That's cool stuff.
Oh, wait, June 6th. So that's 6,
6
6.
months.
You
Yeah.
can't get another 6 in it. I was going to say, is there 3 6s in this release? How cool would that be?
Nah,
That would be
pushing.
dope.
Gotta wait till 2066.
Yeah, no, please don't make us wait that long.
Hey, I mean, we've waited long enough, right? For Diablo 4, it's been how many years? Jesus.
Yeah, right.
10 probably since 3 came out.
I haven't even finished 3 yet.
Came out
Yeah.
on PS3,
Yeah.
so
Sounds about right.
yeah, probably 10 years. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It looks cool. Looks cool. I bet it's going to be a pretty massive game with a lot of expansions and things with it for a while.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people are generally very excited
And knowing
about that.
and knowing my son, he'll be done with it in like 2 nights and be like, "Yeah, I'm going through it a 4th time." I'm like,
Hey, whatever works for
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it's one of those games you've got to go through it multiple
yeah.
times.
You want to get the full experience for sure.
Now, I had 2 thoughts on 2 older games from like genres that had been around for a while that they kind of announced. The first one was a continuation of the Armored Core series. It was actually like the last announcement they made, which seemed to be it's all like cinematic, but it definitely was like hyping you up. Like this is gonna be a cool game.
Super excited. That's
Yeah.
my favorite
I've
announcement.
never played any
that
of the
and
older
the-
games, but
You
That
you
and
never
the other
have
one.
really?
no, I haven't. Surprisingly.
Yeah, some of the older ones are good. Five was nah, but I forget which one I have. Had it on
Five.
I had it on what? There were 2 or 3 of them on PS2. I had
There
one
was
of them.
3 on
You just
PS. There are 2 on PS2, like 4
I've got the
We're on
360 version.
360 and
Yeah.
yeah. 4 games on 360.
I haven't played it since 360, so anything
Yeah.
beyond that's amazing to me anyway. So
I don't know, they made a game after the 360.
Yeah, that was the last one. It's-
And then I guess the other one was, and I guess hoping when I first saw the trailer about the new Crash Bandicoot Crash Team Rumble, but it doesn't look like it's going to be another mainline. It looks like more like a party game or some fighting game. Couldn't really tell from the trailer.
But it looks interesting. At least we were like kind of like what is this?
Franchise isn't completely dead yet.
It could have been another kart racer. So
don't need
enough.
one of
Yeah.
those.
yeah, we don't need another kart racer.
No
I'm
doubt.
surprised there hasn't been an attempt at resurrecting Spyro yet.
Yeah,
They did the Reignited trilogy and it sold well. I don't know why not.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's one in development. They just don't want to talk about it yet. I mean, who really knows?
God,
It's
there were
that.
so many more mediocre, terrible Spyro games than there were good games.
It's probably what killed the
5
franchise.
after 3, there was like
Wow.
5 crappy games.
That can be said for a lot of franchises, especially like Sonic. I mean, those were super hit or miss.
But they keep pumping them out.
Don't talk
Yep,
bad
true.
about my Sonic.
Children love them.
I'm not talking bad about Sonic. I push for him, but the thing is, it's just, the last one that I remember really liking that was not just a side scroller was
Sonic 06.
The ones,
Of course.
the one for the ones for the Dreamcast, Adventure 1 and 2.
Mhm.
I thought those were pretty cool.
Great fucking games.
I mean, there were a couple. I mean, like Generations, I thought was kind of fun because
Good game.
it took you to different styles and stuff. It was kind of fun.
There's more Sonic games I don't like than I do, so
Right.
I agree. I'm
What was
not
that
like
one
a
called?
uber Sonic fan.
Was there like one called Sonic Knights or something?
yeah,
Mhm.
for the Wii.
Sonic and the
Sonic.
Black Knight.
Sonic
That,
games,
that was
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Terrible.
Is that the one that had like the
Sonic-
Sonic next to like a super realistic person? It felt like
A knight, yeah.
It
yeah,
was a night. Yeah.
Essentially wore armor and stuff.
just
Yeah.
didn't seem to fit.
Sonic Unleashed, where he turned into a werehog.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I ever
Super
watched
Sonic
that one.
Fury.
But Sonic 06 is definitely the crown jewel of the series for sure.
It's not buggy at all.
Perfect in every way. Terrible game. I want to. It's not in order, really. It doesn't matter. But I want to say one that I'm super excited about more than Armored Core is Baldur's Gate 4.
3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Baldur's
You
Gate
keep
3,
messing
yeah.
that up. Definitely looked like finally
I
getting a
know.
new Baldur's Gate, and it definitely looked dope in the trailer for sure.
It was so
Mhm.
good. Yeah, pretty excited about that one. I think that was kind of a sort of a surprise one. I mean, we
I
haven't
thought
seen
we
anything in the
knew
series
Baldur's Gate-
forever, but
we kind of knew before tonight it was kind of in the works.
Yeah.
It wasn't like at a left field.
Right. Yeah. Talked about.
Well, the
Go ahead.
original two are so antiquated that I've tried to play them, and I remember back in the day checking out. I think it was 2 on the Mac, and it was okay, but I just couldn't get into it. And then when, of course, Dark Alliance, those came out, and stuff, around that era, when that came out, I was more into that. I think a lot of it had to do with just the upgrades to the graphics and everything. I think it just didn't feel so clunky. So I'm looking forward to this and see what they do. As long as they don't do what they did with Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance, which failed, and then they made it first person or whatever. I don't know. It was terrible.
Just forget that even existed.
Yep, everybody else did too.
Unfortunately.
Terrible games. It's kind of cool to see some DLC coming for Dead Souls. They're doing a Castlevania crossover.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. I like that idea. It makes sense too, really. I mean, it's a Metroidvania, so throw in some Castlevania and.
But what an odd combination, Dead Cells and Castlevania, though. I mean, and then it just works.
I mean, hey, it just works.
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of like, hey, let's glue this together, and I was like, all right, I'll see what you've got. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a weird one, but
It's the new age collabs for video games.
blame Fortnite.
Yeah, right. Talk about some other games that I don't know if I was expecting, but it's definitely not a series that I was ever gotten into. But what are y'all thoughts on the new Hellboy game that they showed?
Dude, yes, it looks so good. Looks so good. That trailer sold me.
Actually, did not see it. I might have to pull it up.
Yeah,
That might have been one of the ones I
Give it a
skipped
look.
over.
It's got a unique art style to it for sure. It looks like it's like a
comic
semi-comic
book.
with that cell shading to it.
It reminds me of the Genesis game. What was it? Comic Zone.
Comic
Reminded me
Zone.
of that.
Yeah.
It looked like that. Pretty cool, man. They could do some cool stuff with that. They actually tried.
Yeah, right.
Got a lot of stuff they can do with that. About we saw some stuff on we got an actual trailer, a real trailer on Final Fantasy 16.
The series that will never die.
That's cool. They're going back.
Mark your calendars. Don't miss out on that collector's edition.
If it's not
They
already
announced
sold out.
one?
Well, I think the collector's edition goes on sale on the 16th, I believe.
Remind me. I grabbed the Street Fighter 6 one.
Yeah. We got Mysticle's comment. Just got Road Rash for PS4. Hoping it's good. Anybody ever played that game before?
Oh,
Because
I
I
love
Road
the
Rash.
old ones.
Hold on. Are you talking about Road Rash on PS1?
PS4. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's a
there-
different game that was released.
look that up.
There is no Road Rash for PS4.
Well, then they re-released it on PS4. Then
When was this? Maybe this is the first I heard of it.
I don't know. I'm just going off what my stickles. I'm not jacking up.
Mysticles.
Mysticles.
No,
okay, that sounds better.
yeah.
Somebody
There
commented.
are two downloadable ones.
Road
one-
Rage.
There was Road Rage, that was a piece of junk, and then there's Road Redemption, and that's actually halfway decent. But there is no Road Rash for PS4
It's
unless
probably in the shop or something. I'm sure it's like the PS1 game.
unless
Actually,
it's
it's on the premium service. That's what he's talking about.
is that okay.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
more sense.
Yeah.
So then it's just the original PS1.
It's just
Yeah.
Just
running
put on
at a better
digital
frame
split.
rate and
Yeah.
higher resolution and stuff.
Yeah, actually, the funny thing is, my Road Rash is sitting right there.
All I see is a pile of junk over there.
It's right by that pile of junk.
Dusty old garbage.
It looks
Yeah,
like
right.
it looks like trash. No, let's talk a little bit about what we got going on behind Rob. I see a Rampage. Is that an X-Men?
Oh, yeah.
Simpsons?
I had a couple of arcades from Mrs. Retro for as birthday and Christmas. So the Rampage and Final Fight, and then the Simpsons one was kind of a gift to myself. That's pretty much one of my favorite arcade games of all time.
You know why I want that? Bowling.
For the bowling?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, Simpsons Arcade.
It's cool because you can play it online too. So you can play with 3 random people with Wi-Fi. So it's kind of awesome.
How is the community online? Is it active?
Yeah, so I mean, if I log in right now, I'll get paired up easily with 3 people for sure. I mean,
Cool.
Awesome.
at least the last 5 times I've tried it. So
Rad.
There's
That's
a
something I've kind of wondered with those.
there's
me
a
too. I
Discord
mean, I
for
didn't
those
get it.
too.
What's that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, little Discord community for people that are playing those online too.
Oh yeah. I didn't get it solely for that. I honestly like ran and I got it because I was like, oh, bowling.
Mhm.
I could do this. That's
Yeah,
my
I love
that's my
that.
gaming level right there. I can bowl.
It sounds pretty good, definitely.
Yeah, I have a lot of junk though. I thrift a lot and I just collect for basically I just kind of rebought back my childhood. So and just keep buying as I go.
I mean, why
It's
not?
kind of like well, I've figured it out. You start by buying the things that you had that you no longer have, and
Yeah.
then you kind of parlay it over into well, I always
But you
wanted
couldn't
that
get.
stuff. Yep, I always wanted that. I never could have it. I can have it now.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
right.
lucky. We found this house, and my wife saw there was an extra house on the premise, and so she was just like, "Man, this would be perfect for him to put all his crap in there, so no one can see it when like grown-ups come over." So I have like this house all to myself outside, which is pretty nice.
Damn, that's cool. You're like your game shack,
Yeah, yep,
but
exactly.
house.
Yeah,
It's the game cave, essentially. Just replace the man
yeah.
cave for game cave.
So the back I just built for like when the kids come in, like there's arcades and there's like seats back behind me, and then I just hooked up that TV up there yesterday, matter of fact, and that's just a mini system TV. And
That's
then the
cool.
front is just all my consoles and other collectibles. So
Nice.
I love it.
thanks.
That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
thank you. I'm pretty lucky, so I try not to boast, I'm definitely lucky. So
Humble. I
yeah,
like
yeah,
that
Yeah,
too.
that's the word.
Like
yeah,
that too.
yeah.
What did you guys think on the Crime Boss announcement? Like a GTA-esque clone. Did you guys see that one? I know Scott did.
I saw a little bit of it. I kind of mentioned it the other day. Just the GTA clone thing.
I just don't
Okay.
care myself.
Yeah. It's kind of a rinse, wash, repeat kind of thing in my mind. Graphically, it looked good.
They got a lot of people tied to it. Looks like we got Chuck Norris, Danny Trejo, Danny Glover, Michael Madsen, Vanilla Ice, Kim Bassinger, and Michael Rooker all tied
Wow.
to it. Yeah.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's
they've
pretty impressive.
they've dumped a
It is.
lot of money into this game. It looks
Jesus.
like. So that's
Who's the-
my interest in it is that it looks like maybe they're actually trying to really do something. It's not another true crime or one of those other
Mm.
shit GTA-esque clones that
Who's developing it again?
I don't know if I have it here in the notes. I'm not sure, Mark. Did you
I
catch
can
who's
I
making
can
that?
try to. It's in-game studios. Is what IGN's saying.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that would
Look into
be.
them.
It says it can switch between first and third person with PvE co-op up to 4 players, participating in heists and other various crimes. So, I mean, GTA with a first-person mode. It looks like. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it looks interesting looking at it again here.
Yeah, fair
I just
enough.
kind of don't care. I didn't even play it. I know this is terrible, but I didn't even beat GTA 5. I've owned it on 3 different consoles at this point, and I just don't.
I'm in the same
just
boat.
don't
I
care.
never finished it either.
Yeah, I just don't care.
Hey, just
GTA Online doesn't interest me at all.
it's the same thing, just multiplayer online, just no story. Just what you would do in GTA as a kid and just run around and shoot stuff. It's
Yeah,
either
that's
that
what-
the online's either that or it's like some kind of role playing like server. It's one of the two.
Right.
I turned on the '90s rap station and just cruise around the streets for hours.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You
Just
got to get in
rocking
the
out.
mode with some Biggie and Tupac. Man.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
want to do a quick 2 more chat shout-outs. We had a retro Tiburon, if I'm not mispronouncing that. Just saying, hey guys, welcome in. And then Mysticals was saying, you're right, it's Road Rage for that 5 minutes ago that we talked about.
Oh God, what a terrible piece of junk that is. Oh my God. I go buy it then. I bought the fucker brand new, and when I got it home, it was uncontrollable. It was a mess, and I was like, I can't believe I spent $50 on this shit. And it sat on my shelf for like 2 years until I said, all right, it's got to go. And then Road Redemption, that was supposed to come out on physical and never did. And that's actually not
That's a
too
good
bad.
game.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. I still want a proper Road Rash, and even if they just redid this Road Rash for the PS1, if they completely did a remake on that one and started us off there, because we haven't had anything in 4 generations. So I mean that's pretty, that's pretty crappy for a franchise that was actually pretty decent franchise, and you had the first 3 on the Genesis, and then they started over with this Road Rash, and that was on 3 different consoles back then. And I had all 3 consoles and had it on all 3 consoles. Plus, I believe it's also on PC.
I had the 3DO one.
The 3DO one's the best one.
Yeah.
It looks like Road Redemption does have a physical. It's on PS4 and Switch. It's on Best Buy right now for $26.
Maybe it's the other way around then. I'd have to turn my PS4 because they kept saying that.
Road Rage has one too. It's $12.99 at GameStop.
Well, so they finally did come out with.
Yeah, apparently.
Because
I have never heard of either. I don't.
Well, Redemption, they kept saying, and they kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. All right, so Redemption, you said Best Buy?
Best Buy, Target, and Walmart. Yeah, it's all on there. Switch and PS4. So
I'll check.
Yeah, I have to look into the Redemption. It doesn't sound like I want to waste my time with Rage, but.
Everyone was calling Redemption. They were saying that was kind of like the sole successor of Road Rash before it dropped. So yeah, that's kind of what got me interested. It's like, hey, that's pretty cool.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just picked up Road Rash again, beginning of the year on 3DO. So
gotta try to dive back into it again.
That's the best one, 3DO.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's got a lot of the best ports for some of those games.
Is this confirmed? Brandon's gonna stream it on the 3DO.
Yes.
Trying to get there.
Confirmed.
Sometime in 2023.
Message
sometime in 2023
and see if he'll watch it.
I'll be damned.
Oh yeah, I bet he will.
Dude, it's on clear. Did you say it was on clearance? Holy shit!
Yeah.
Buy it, Scott.
Oh, it's sold out. Damn it.
It looks like another game that people seem to be pretty excited about is Atomic Heart.
Yes.
That one I'm trying to remember.
Didn't see that one.
Is that the Mark? Is that the one we were talking about that we thought kind of interesting?
Atomic.
That's the one that I mentioned last week.
Yeah, Atomic Heart.
I don't think so. I do know, like, of all the games that was announced, Brandon couldn't stop talking about party animals the most for sure.
I was trolling, but
oh shit!
It's like a party game with you. You're just a bunch of like these cute animal stuffed dolls just like fighting each other. It
looked fun. You know what it reminded me of? Like a combination of Naughty Bear. It reminded me of Naughty Bear and
Xbox. I played that.
Yeah. There's another game it reminded me of. Fur Fighters. It reminded me of Fur Fighters and Naughty Bear.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
I enjoyed Fur Fighters.
Looked just like that. Yeah, it reminded me of that.
I'm gonna throw this out here real quick because I'm looking at it. And I'll let Mysticals know since he's watching, or she. I don't know if Ms. Mysticals a he or a she. I don't know. It doesn't matter. You could be a robot. I don't care. Road Redemption is a fantastic game. You of course can download it, but they do have it on Amazon for $29.99, and I would suggest grabbing that game if you do like Road Rash. Anybody else who is watching, it's actually pretty darn good. So I suggest getting it.
Yeah,
all right, there's my little segue.
Retro Tiburon was saying you love the soundtrack to Road Rash on the PS1.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it.
Great.
For sure.
I think a lot of games have good soundtracks, but you have those like handful that definitely stick out.
I mean, I think they were the same across the board, weren't they? Is it Soundgarden?
Yeah, yeah, it was Soundgarden pretty much across
just
on all of them.
Digitized Genesis versions.
Yeah.
I guess this is more towards those of you. I know Brandon for sure, but those of you that are into the whole fighting games. Mysticals was saying I played the Capcom Fighting Collection the other day for $25. I thought it was cool and would would have liked to see some of the Versus series though.
It's what they put on there is awesome.
They could almost release a Versus compilation in itself.
Yeah.
There's
They could, like, hold its
a
own
lot
game.
of those.
Yeah.
I mean, you got
sure.
Marvel vs. Capcom, SNK, Tatsunoko.
God, I wish they
There's
would
so
have-
many. There's so many of those.
Yeah,
Just
that
make one big one.
Tatsunoko game on Wii is like $70 right now.
Really?
Crazy. Yeah. It's going
Well, that's
for-
cool. It's finally getting the appreciation it deserves.
It's my
I mean, that's
favorite. It's my
yeah, dude,
favorite
that is a-
Versus game. Yeah.
The lineup in
down.
it's so fucking cool.
Yeah, hands down my favorite. But yeah, Capcom Fighting Collection is excellent, especially for those. All the it's an arcade game that Red Earth. That one's on there. It's really cool and never came over here for anything. No arcade unit, wasn't brought to anything. So it's a cool one.
Yeah. So this is I did have like a question because Mr. Goes kind of commented something along the lines. Is there essentially a dead IP out there, gaming IP that you would like to see resurrected?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Many.
Road Rage or Road
yeah.
Rash. There you go.
You're just talking about
Done. Yeah. Gosh, there's a couple out there. They never really did anything
Centipede.
with Flashback.
Defender.
They kept remaking Flashback or
Space Invaders.
doing the same.
It's like a one and done.
That.
Hey, Rob, did you have one in mind, or like a dead
Yeah,
IP
what
you'd
you
like to see
think?
resurrected?
Just like an old game that's just from back in the day.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it's essentially it's been dead for a while. You'd like to maybe see a new game, new iteration.
Something that was a series, it's now not.
At least it's been dormant at the very least.
I guess probably I'd like to see Alien versus Predator. Since they just did the Alien Fire Team, I kind of would like
Yeah.
to see it more. Yeah, but I wish they would redo the Jaguar one.
Yeah,
That was a
Me
great
too.
fucking game.
me too.
It just
I'd like
few
to see,
elements.
I'd like to see Rampage come back because
Well,
they that's
making them though.
they haven't
mean-
had anything else since the Nintendo 64 though. So
In the
it's just
arcade
like-
scene though, it's alive.
really.
Yeah, I've seen some newer iterations of Rampage in the arcades because I'm a huge
Oh.
It's
Rampage.
one that came out in like 2018. Yeah.
Really?
I played it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
but-
it's
Yeah, that-
crazy. Like
Yeah,
they're
but-
huge
yeah, but-
screens.
I
Yeah,
can't swing a dead cat and hit an arcade nowadays.
Yeah.
So I mean, I haven't seen an arcade in years.
It's a
No, that's
terrible
fair.
reference there that you choose. Anyway,
Well, I mean, you can throw dead cats pretty far.
Yeah, but
So,
just
yeah.
not in an arcade.
yeah, I agree. Nowhere. I mean, you know what? That's not true because Columbus actually has a few.
I
now.
don't live
They're
in Columbus.
Pretty bustling, but other than that, like, big city is the only way to go.
Bring
Yeah,
back
I-
Earthbound.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mother
new Earthbound
three.
game.
Mother 3.
Oh, come on,
You
damn
know
it.
what I would like to see? We kind of sort of just talked about it, but I know we got one on PS4, but it's absolute dog shit. I want like a real Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Another like real sequel. Infinite was terrible.
Yeah,
I'm a
that
huge fan of Marvel vs. Capcom.
was surprisingly bad. How much hype was in that and how
Yeah.
good it could have been.
Could have been, yeah. There's another one I was gonna say too that we haven't seen anything from. Oh, Spy Hunter. I feel like they can actually do something cool
Mhm.
with that.
They could now.
Oh
But that
yeah,
one,
yeah.
that one that The Rock was in, that was a piece of crap. That's how come you haven't seen
Forgot
anything.
about that. Forgot
Yeah,
about
it's
that.
like, oh,
I did too.
yeah,
They can put 'em back on
hey,
the cover.
here's how to burn down something. You know,
I just don't know if people care now for.
Hey,
stuff
I-
like that.
I know a really- I know
Yeah.
a dead franchise that would be great if they revived, and none of you have ever thought of it. One of the biggest franchises of all time, and
Clock Tower.
no, Halo. It'd be great if they came out with a good Halo game.
Oof.
Halo's
But
becoming like
That's
the
a
new.
tall task.
It's gonna become the new Sonic. Essentially, they're just gonna release games and they're gonna be hit or miss.
Sonic.
As long as Bonnie Ross isn't involved, I'm okay.
No, I was thinking about another franchise that could use a revival. Another Banjo Kazooie game would be nice, like a standard, like
Yeah.
classic 3D platformer.
So when Rare Replay when that got released for Xbox One, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was actually a bunch of rumors that there was a new Banjo-Kazooie in the works, and that
Yep.
Rare Replay was kind of to stir up some interest in these old IPs as they were working on this one. But
Seems to fail, or
haven't-
it was a bad rumor.
When that came out, I was still writing with Nintendo Enthusiasts, and I remember them talking about, like, will Rare actually do something that could be like a real successor or sequel to that? I can remember.
Because
I guess
mean,
we get
Ukulele was supposed to be like the spiritual successor, and it was a terrible game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That second game's fun though. That what is it? The layers or whatever it's called. Like a I can't explain what it is. You'd have to look it up. There's a sequel that's actually a pretty good game that came out. Get it for like under $10 now.
Because I was thinking about one of the Rare games I used to play and love, which I think is an underrated Rare game, and that's the Jet Force Gemini.
Jet Force Gemini.
Probably my personal favorite. I mean, who doesn't want to go around and shoot like giant ants and protect little bears or whatever?
Ukulele and the Impossible Lair. It's on Switch, PS4, and Xbox. That's a good game.
It's not bad.
And it got it's like an 86 here on Metacritic. So
yeah,
for sure.
We had a Retro Tiburon saying he wants sequels to Evil Within, Dead Space, and Splatterhouse franchises, and then Mysticals commented Shinobi, or because Shinobi 3 I guess is another series.
Shinobi on 3DS. Check that out if you haven't played it.
Well, there's supposed to be another Earth Defense Force coming out, and I really dig Earth Defense Force, and haven't seen it yet. So keep your eye out.
Isn't there a Dead Space show or movie coming out?
I don't know if they were talking about it, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
I for sure read about it, whether it was a rumor or like a. But we got the remake coming out, so I mean that might stir up something. Callisto Protocol completely failed. I didn't hear too much good stuff about it.
I've only heard a little, and
I had a friend that really liked it, but everybody in the internet seems to hate it. So
my friend Gene just did a review on it on Caps Off Gaming, and he said it was pretty decent, but the controls, he's pretty irritated with the controls on it. That's a lot. I've read about a lot. It's just the controls are janky.
I've heard the controls, and I've heard you have to get at least 2 hours into the game before things start to pick up, and that's a hell of a long time to play a game. I mean there's some things that you can wait around for 2 hours. That's not one of them. I'm not going to go to a place for a reservation for dinner for 2 hours. I'm not going to sit on the toilet for 2 hours. And if somebody says they're going to be ready to go to a concert and it's 8 o'clock and we're not going to be leaving for another 2 hours, guess what? I'm already going to be there. So, 2 hours to get into a game, no thank you.
Yeah, if any of us are on the toilet for 2 hours, we have bigger problems than Callisto. So
exactly.
I got problems.
Seek medical attention.
You need a little colon blow there.
99 problems, but my butt ain't one.
Might want to eat more fiber at that point.
Start eating cardboard at that point.
Listen, cardboard's actually pretty good. It's underrated.
It's got to be
Put a
properly
little bit of soy sauce,
seasoned.
A little bit of soy sauce on it. Tolerable. I did want to. I'm sorry, I'm having issues with my camera again. I think it's the port. Let's see. There was some. The new Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Yes.
The sequel to
Jedi Fallen Order.
Fallen Order. Yeah.
I think that
Which
was
I have to finish.
surprise. It was like a nice surprise, but I think it was inevitable that we were going to get a sequel to that game. Just how well it performed and it was received.
I just didn't think it was going to come out that soon.
Is that main character in the game? Is he the guy who played on Shameless and the Joker and stuff like that? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I can search it and see if it's the
I
same
was just
voice
curious.
actor.
The more I looked at the picture from the trailer and everything, I was like, man, that guy looks familiar. It's
I'm not sure.
Like, never mind how I think the game's gonna be. I'm just like, is that guy from Shameless?
I must know.
I must know.
Well, I saw that they had those special editions on limited run, but I haven't seen what's inside of them. I mean, I think they were like $179 or something like that. And I was like, man, I better come with an actual lightsaber for that much.
This is a random thing. Speaking of Shameless, do you watch that show? Are you any of you guys really familiar with it?
No, I've never watched it.
Yeah, he's the same main voice actor is in Shameless. It's also in Gotham, Shattered, Click, Malcolm in the Middle, and some bunch of other stuff.
He was the Joker on the new Gotham series. Okay.
Who was he on Malcolm in the Middle?
I'm not sure. The actor is Cameron Monaghan. I don't know, I'm butchering
It was
that.
early in his career, so he was just the middle. His... I don't know.
Interesting. I've never seen those. Let's see what we got here.
He was Chad in Malcolm in the Middle. I don't know who that character is.
Oh, I know who that is. That was the kid who was in the special class with Dewey. He had the curly red hair, and Dewey befriended him, and he was this kid was like super crazy. And then he came over to stay the night the one night, and he tore the entire house apart. There you go.
Say, he probably wore a lot of Axe body spray and punched drywall, so.
It's a funny episode. They're all good, but.
So I wanted to bring up about this. This was something that I've been talking about with a couple of other people. Should a game, like for the Game Awards as an example, should a game be able to take 5 different awards away in completely separate categories, leaving all these other games kind of in the dust and having a chance at all?
Yeah, why not? We're not handing out awards to everybody just because they decided to participate.
Yeah, that's how awards categories works. I mean, they have categories for everyone, and if they win them all, then that.
I think it's the same issue you see with like movie and TV shows. Like your top 2 movies in the year are going to take everything, and you're just like
take every
awards. Mm-hmm.
But I think
should there be a cap for awards? I mean, I'm not saying there should be. That's not me, but
to be fair,
I've
I
seen
think
a bunch of discussion articles.
I think outside of Game of the Year, most of the audience just doesn't care.
Maybe a cap for how many categories said game gets entered into for potential awards. Like, say if there's like 20 categories they're offering awards for, maybe like, hey, send us your entry and the 5 categories you wish for it to be considered for.
I agree with that, because how can you cap how many awards they get? That's like going, all right, well, they were really good with this and that and the other. That's it. Screw you. You're not getting these ones. We're taking them backstage and we're going to start etching on them. Now this goes to somebody else, you rotten bastard.
It was going to go to so-and-so, but
now it's
too many.
But there's your second place award. It was going to go to Elden Ring, but now you get it. But no, that's actually not a bad idea. You see that instead of turning it into a participation award thing, where everybody gets an award, now you end up saying, okay, we need a cap where it's going to be, it's like if you get, say, five categories, you can be in, Game of the Year, whatever, best sound, best gown, I don't know, whatever. And if you go ahead and cap it there, then at least there will be better chances for others to possibly win something. But at the same time, if you come out and you've made something that just kicks everybody's nuts in, kudos to you.
Yeah, you deserve the awards.
Yeah, I think it's like it's a good talking point, but I don't think anything ever is going to really change about it. Right. And I was like, oh. Outside of like Game of the Year, the Player Game of the Year, and then all the new game announcements, I'm sure most people just wouldn't care at the end of the day.
I mean, even us when we were watching, like, oh, hey.
It's like, hey, this person won award. They're accepting the award. We're just talking about something.
Well, nobody's watching
unrelated.
The awards for that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Dude, your camera's like all red now.
Is it?
It's not on my side.
No. Yeah, I mean, we just wanted to get through, so annoying. It's award after award.
At least, I don't, it's a,
this.
I can't remember who the actor, who's the voice actor for Kratos. Is it Christopher Judge?
He talked for like.
What, I saw the clip on YouTube. 9 minutes. 9 minute long clip.
9 minutes straight of him talking.
Jesus.
Boasting about himself. I mean,
are you? Is that the guy? Was that the dude who was on Stargate?
SG-1. Yeah, he played Teal'c on SG-1.
Yeah. He played Teal'c on Stargate. Yeah.
Really good actor, but he just talked way too long.
But he couldn't make a coherent thought. He was too toked up. he came on the stage as high as hell. I mean, you could see the sandwiches behind him that he was going to eat after he got off stage. I mean,
talking
good
about for the
Lord.
Game Awards?
Yeah. I don't know if he
Yeah.
looked high.
I
but
didn't notice that. I didn't see that at all.
To be fair,
man, I'm so glad I'm here.
Hey, I think you're talking about the wrong person.
to be fair, like
Very
when he was
coherent, like too coherent.
when he was up there talking, me and Brandon were like talking about
let me
other
look it
stuff
up.
half the time, so it's like I didn't pay
Yeah.
attention to most of what he said.
Didn't use
I'll
it
look it
out
up.
after 30 seconds.
I think whatever takes the edge off. I mean, the guy's walking around, he's Kratos all the time, so it's a lot of pressure. So
Boy, get over
Damn
here.
you, son.
That's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of-
he looks like a lot at
Hey,
it.
aren't you Kratos? Yeah!
Yeah,
Leave me alone.
I want the old Kratos back.
Where are my sandwiches?
You gotta
I
hit
am not
unwind.
Kratos.
Get
Just,
out of
just
here.
on stage accepting an award, pull it like a sandwich out of your pocket, just start eating it. Yeah, I appreciate the award, guys.
Then I would have tuned in.
I would do that.
Just to make the news.
Yeah, just to make. It was wild how long the guy talked. I think there's already like memes and gifs of him. So
He clearly had something like a lot of stuff. I think he knew he was gonna win. He had a lot of stuff pre-prepared what he wanted to fucking talk
I'm
about.
sure. I'm sure.
He pulled out a scroll.
But, yeah, by decree of the Lord.
Yeah, I'm looking that up real quick. I saw a whole bunch of articles about that whole deal with him, but in general,
Christopher Judge is who I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, oh, dude, he went
So-
just he couldn't keep a coherent thought. It's oh man, it's like just he was like Stevie Wonder. Just take the award and get out of here.
got another thing here that had hit the news today. Video game Fortnite faces new lawsuits. This is designed around the makers of the video game, of designing the game to create a dependency and failing to warn of the risks of addiction.
Are you fucking kidding?
That seems
me?
like a gaming
Dead
thing in
ass
general,
serious.
and it's
Are
gonna
you
fail.
fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah, front
Oh,
page of
my
News,
God.
on Fox. Yeah.
Oh my god! For failing to warn against the possibility.
This seems like the media just
addiction.
attacking gaming in general. Nothing's gonna change unless there's
Well,
like
they've done this
legislation passed
several
on that.
times at this point,
Yeah, it's-
right?
I-
Like,
it's-
the
it's
whole
a
World of
moot argument.
Warcraft, the beginning of WoW, like that was a
Yeah.
big ass thing.
But you know, I won't give any credence to it whatsoever. But there was a girl that I used to date, and we went out, and then later on we started going out again. And when I went back to school, she said, "Oh," I said, "Oh yeah, my kids bought me World of Warcraft," and she goes, "Don't start playing it." And I go, "Why?" She goes, "You'll never graduate." So I never did play it. So
Never
it
too late
just
to
sat
start.
there in the box. Yeah. So, but
proud of you. Proud of you, Scott.
I
The
never
funny-
did play it.
The funny thing is it's a class action lawsuit, so it's a bunch of parents. Like it's all parents behind.
Oh,
it.
God
More than-
forbid
yeah,
you
boy.
control what your
Yeah.
children do. It's,
Hey, I mean, they're your kids, right? You control what they do. If you
I remember-
give them that and-
I remember my parents saying, "Hey, if it's a school night, essentially Sunday night till I get off school on Friday, video games like weren't a thing when I was growing up as a kid. Problem solved."
Nope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's called parenting, and you know what? The judge should just go, "We're throwing this out."
Well, it's
Because
gonna
if
get
you don't-
thrown out because there's no law in the books about it. So what is he gonna rule with?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, but people
dumb
sue
as
for their
shit.
feelings all the time. and they win.
What to be like? This is a personal opinion, but I think they're suing to try to get some political law passed or something like that. Kind of like what
Does-
China did with like, hey, you can only play like 2 hours of games a day or something like that.
Oh yeah.
This says I didn't like how angry it made him. I would say it's definitely addictive, and I don't like how it changes one's personality.
Wow.
I don't even know.
I'm gonna be like,
That's my life.
I'd be like, "Lady, do you see all this shit behind me? I haven't even played half of these games." And I remember hearing back in the day, my girlfriend or my boyfriend won't go out with me, and he won't do anything, and I have this sexy negligee on, and he won't even touch me because he's playing with his Sega Genesis and stuff like that. I'm like, well, then you need a new boyfriend.
Or
I-
look prettier. I don't know. I don't know what she looked like. Maybe your boyfriend doesn't
No,
care
but
about
I mean,
you.
No, but
Um,
it was always some girl who was super super cute, and her her boyfriend was some weed head, And he's just like, oh yeah,
Listen,
man.
Oh, so he's
to be
already
fair-
he's addicted to
Listen,
drugs. He's high as
Scott.
shit.
To be fair, Scott said that Rosie O'Donnell is like his sex goddess. So
She is.
just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, if she looked a lot more like Kim Basinger in Batman, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a wild one. There's like nothing to base that on. There's no
Well,
hard
and
facts and that.
well, and also in recent events, didn't we learn that Scott is also Robo Sapien?
Robo.
Oh, yeah.
What does that even mean?
Yeah. He's Robo Sapien.
Scott likes the robots.
Yeah. He's into
I do.
robots.
I can't
Love
say that I'm into that shit.
It's you know, those new sex robots that came out last year.
Yeah,
I
I think
have,
there
like,
was an
3 of
episode
them.
of I think there was an episode of Futurama about it.
I
I
remember that.
have-
Yeah, I remember.
I
That's
have
classic.
3 on back order, and they're still on a ship on, they can't get through the port.
Ah,
Damn, that's crazy.
at least they got caught up on that chip shortage, so they could.
Yeah, as I say, you can't get a girl.
Here's what I want to know: is technically that's cheating if
Yeah.
your wife walks in on you with 3 robots? I mean, they're not people.
No,
It's not a real woman. It's a sex doll. Come on. I'm not cheating on you.
I don't think you have a
Doesn't
wife.
count.
That's 2 robots.
Now I'm gonna go take a shower.
Oh my god, I definitely did want to give a mention to this though, because it was a really cool thing. Me and Mark were pretty ecstatic about it. But Kevin Conroy is Batman in Kill the Justice League.
Yeah,
This
I
is
saw
not
that.
throwing anything. Yeah,
very cool.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I'll tell you what was cool though
happy about
is
that.
I don't know if I already mentioned this last week. I think I did. I check out DVDs and stuff at Goodwill occasionally, and somebody had donated a whole bunch of Batman animated series and all kinds of stuff, and I picked up like 2 or 3 Kevin Conroy movies, and I was like, cool. I finally get to see Mask of the Phantasm, which I've never seen, and it was just like right on the heels of him passing away too. It's just kind of weird. So, but I'm glad that he'll finally get his last outing as Batman instead of him just going like that, and we don't get anything else. So that's really cool.
Yeah, that's crazy. What God, his name is I'm always terrible on the spot. 50s or 60s Batman.
Oh,
Adam
man.
West.
Yep,
Adam West.
Adam West.
Okay, so there was an animated movie. It was a sequel that came out.
There's
there.
2 of them.
2 of them, yeah.
Yeah.
And it came out like a year later, maybe after he passed away. Something he had already
It
pre-recorded,
came
so-
out. Yeah, the second one came out about 3 months after he passed away, and I think that was the second one with Shatner as Two-Face, I believe.
Yeah, Two-Face. Yep, that was a really cool one. Yeah, man, the Kevin Conroy is definitely like my Batman when I think of Batman. I always think of the animated series. So.
Yeah,
It's a
animated
bummer.
series, and then his first video game was the Sega CD Batman and Robin, which is considered
That's
the lost
right.
episode. So
Yeah. Cool stuff.
Well, I mean, continuing on, I saw this with the sad news. Maybe not as sad. I saw this on Gamerant. Apparently, after 16 years, some guy's Xbox 360 got its first Red Ring of Death.
Didn't Brandon?
Wow.
Good.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah.
It's like the
Yeah.
the classic one they got before they did the remodel. But I was like, oh, imagine it lasting 16 years before it dies. That's still impressive, but it's kind of sad.
A launch 360.
He probably
Yeah.
put it inside of like air conditioning box or something and just kept it air conditioned the whole time.
I don't know, based on the
I'm not gonna let you die.
based on the
Sitting
picture, it's
inside.
like on a little wooden stand or something like that, like right under the TV. But it's
He
impressive
just
that the
got
launch
very,
went that long.
very lucky.
Mhm.
Very
Maybe he
lucky.
didn't play it very much either.
I don't know.
There's no way.
I still think
16
regardless, the fact that the original 360 could last that long is impressive.
Oh, here's what I want to know: did he send it in to get it fixed?
Hey, I would at this point. Fuck it.
Hey, everybody else got theirs fixed. How come not me? I'm filing a lawsuit, you
I
bastard.
know that was like 13 years ago, but do it now.
I'm
Yeah.
Kratos.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, right.
I did want to bring some mention to, which I know obviously you know too, Rob. The Mario movie is getting a lot of attention for stuff.
Oh
We're getting to
yeah,
see
the
a
trailer
lot-
they showed at the Game Awards, it
Yes.
was amazing.
Beautiful.
super good. Yeah, I'm 100% on board now. I feel totally.
I get a lot of comments on my page about people complaining about how it's not Chris Martinet's voice, and I'm like, dude, I don't know.
I don't think it would
his
work.
voice was iconic, but it was iconic for just phrases. I don't know if
Exactly.
Yeah,
the
he just made
catchphrases.
an hour and 50 minutes of
No.
like,
Yeah,
No, I couldn't
he
do
wasn't. Yeah, he just did little phrases and stuff. It's not like he did actual dialogue.
Yeah, like spoken
Yeah.
dialogue.
And after watching the
Yeah, there is no
trailer,
words.
and he's got full, you're hearing Mario talk. I'm like, that's not bad. I think it fits.
Yeah, I think it sounds good.
everyone's
this
yeah.
is
complaining about something, so I'm just like
Yeah,
I
everybody's
said, I don't know, an hour and a half or whatever it's gonna be for that of just listening to
That
that
get
voice.
annoying.
Yeah. No, there's no way.
No.
I get
Well-
I get annoyed at Super Mario 64 and all.
Well, unless,
And
unless
then-
we hang out with the Kratos guy, we could all just smoke with him and watch.
but if you want to smell hypocrite, you have John Leguizamo, who was actually in the first Mario movie, which was a piece of shit,
Right.
and
I
he's
like that
complaining.
I like it too. I like that movie too.
Was it the fungus?
Let's stay on.
I love that
let's-
movie, man.
Well, irrelevant. That's not the point I'm making.
It
He
is relevant. Just kidding.
All right, let's talk about what you were going to talk about.
I was just talking about how I like the Mario
Okay.
movie.
So he is saying that he's all pissed off that these two people who are, and one of them's no, his name just went out of my head. The guy who's playing Mario,
Bob Hoskins.
Chris Pratt.
Pratt.
Chris
Oh,
Pratt.
Pratt.
Thank you.
Chris Pratt. Sorry.
Yeah. So he's like, he's complaining that he's not Italian, and I'm going, okay. So let me get this straight. You were in the first one, and didn't he play Luigi?
He was Luigi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
Okay. Excuse me, but I don't see you turning over your paycheck because you're Latino.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's called acting. Look into it, Leguizamo. It's called acting.
Well, come on,
you know.
you're portraying a fictional character for
A,
Christ's
a-
sake.
a fictional character who's technically not even Italian.
Yeah,
because he's from another
Italian.
he's from another goddamn planet.
Yeah.
Listen, there
It's
are
not
so
real.
many things behind Mario. He's a
I'm
New
John
Yorker,
Leguizamo.
That goes to
My
Mushroom
shit don't
Kingdom
stink.
because he does mushrooms and.
Did you guys know that they were both drunk the entire time they filmed that movie too?
I could
I
believe
can
it.
buy that.
I think
surprised
You'd
me.
have to be drunk to get through that
Yeah.
movie.
They were so intoxicated. At one point, the van door slammed on Hoskins' hand and broke it, and he had to finish the movie with a broken hand, but he didn't know because he was drunk.
It's a me, Mario. I
They
just
went
hurt
through so many script rewrites, director changes. I mean, they made that movie for what, like 3 years, I think, before it came out.
It was in
That's
the making
bad.
for a while.
And
Cat
then
the
it
Crew's
came out, and it
drunk
was
and high.
terrible.
The funny thing was,
That's so funny.
I saw that at Goodwill about 3 weeks ago, and I went, "Oh fuck this," and I put it back.
I made a post about that too. I just commented to this guy about because he goes, I made a thing about the Mario movie, and then he's like, this is the real Mario movie, and showed like a picture of the original poster. And I just had made a comment about like funny facts, and one of them was about how they were drinking during that movie, and he was like, so what's your point? He's like, Van Damme did like 10,000 pounds of cocaine a week during Street Fighter. And I was like,
He was
Another bad movie.
dude, this isn't a contest. Like,
I'll do heroin while doing this movie. Let's go.
he was really
Is
upset.
this a
Like,
challenge?
yeah.
Challenge
Bro, I'm
accepted.
getting straight speedballs. Come on, man.
You want a real movie?
Now this is like there's like no official news, but I was watching on some Facebook page for that covers Link and Zelda and stuff like that, and they were talking about what are the likelihoods of us getting a Zelda movie if this Mario movie does really well, like same kind of style, but essentially like an animated movie. I don't know what y'all's thoughts on that
Well,
would be.
I mean, it's kind of a horse of a different color, isn't it? I mean, it's a Nintendo IP, but I mean,
Link doesn't speak, so that's the first.
Well,
But
didn't-
Link could speak, but Mario doesn't speak either in his games essentially.
Well, again, there at one point there was mentions about Netflix being in
Yes.
some sort of
There was a
Oh,
few
God.
times.
deal.
Yeah, a few
Yeah.
times.
So I mean,
Yeah.
I think
We
a
thought
movie
it
would be
was
better.
fine.
still.
I think that it would. I think live action would fare better with Zelda than it would like something like Mario or any other like Donkey Kong, Kirby. I think that is probably the only one that I can think of that could fare well.
Because
Live
I
action,
was seeing him talk
Live
about
action Kirby.
it in
Live
like
I
action
could-
Kirby.
I could see a Donkey
Get it,
Kong
Chris.
movie
Star
long
Fox.
before I would see a Donkey Kong movie long
An-
before I would see a
an
a
animated
Link
Kirby
movie.
movie.
you already have it, Donkey Kong. It's
Wreck-It Ralph.
No, it's one of those kaiju movies with the
King Kong.
King Kong, yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of it.
Yeah, that's
the Donkey Kong.
It's
Hollywood
the same
version.
level of quality. Like, you can't get higher quality than that. Just replace
you're not
Godzilla
wrong.
with Mario, and he's got a princess on the Empire State Building, and you're good to go.
It's Donkey Kong's cousin from Mississippi.
Diddy Kong.
That's why it's from
I love it. Oh man, wait. You know what? There is a lot that can be done with like Nintendo IPs. I just think I don't know how to say this, but I think it's a bigger risk for a Nintendo IP than it is for something like, hey, we did a live action Halo, or we did a Mass Effect movie. I just think that like they're more established in
Well,
the
they
fact
still-
that
I think
and they're Nintendo, right?
I think Nintendo's learned, and they're far more protective about what's happening. So
Right.
if they make another
Amen.
movie, Nintendo would be far more involved in these other adaptations that kind of flopped, and they're just like,
Yes.
we can't have this flop because this looks bad on us.
I think ever since the CDI stuff happened, like they just changed.
Yeah.
They just changed. Like,
Yeah.
Why
Well,
the Gamelon, like-
excuse me,
we
princess.
don't do movies. No, we don't do
We
movies
don't-
anymore.
we
Or
don't do
bad,
movies anymore.
really bad Zelda games.
yeah, I mean,
Oh, those are terrible.
Zelda's Adventure's kind of cool though. I like it.
Those DVD, CDI games that they made are terrible.
Yeah.
Borderline
Hey,
unplayable.
don't talk trash about my CDI.
I will.
I'll
They're
come
pretty
over
terrible
there and
system.
smack
No,
you.
no, we'll have you talk trash about your CDI. Go.
All right. Well, listen, I got this encyclopedia game on the CDI.
Oh,
It's actually-
Compton's. Yeah, son.
It's
Yeah.
cool, man. It's cool. You could mess with that for a few hours and be.
You can look up words and shit.
You can learn.
You can
I don't-
learn.
I don't.
No,
I don't.
like I got a
I-
whole stack of sealed CDI games when I got it. I got really lucky with it because, yeah, as you know, they're pretty pricey. I got a whole stack of sealed ones. I looked at them. I'm like, there's not a single one of these I'd want to play. None
Yeah.
of them. There was like 11 games. So then I went to a game store and he called me. He's like, hey, I got some CDI games there. Got a couple I wanted to play, and then I picked up. It's right here. There's this new CDI game that came out last year. It's called Nobelia, and it is a Bomberman / Zelda game.
Turn your
That's-
camera on, fool.
It's not working. I'll try to put it in the other spot. Hold on.
Show me. I want to see this Novelia.
Oh yeah, it
need
came
to
out last
see-
year. I got
He's
it.
lying. There isn't one, and he's naked.
It's making it right now.
Show me everything.
Oh yeah,
Well-
yeah.
Yeah, it's and I already
yeah,
have the. I'm already able to play it, so I'm not opening.
Didn't
this,
that
but
come
yeah,
out
it's
for a
really
couple-
cool.
Didn't that come out for a couple other platforms as well? A couple other retro platforms.
Steam and CDI is all it's on.
Was that
Oh,
it? Yeah, because I
yeah.
remember seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's really cool. I like it a lot. But
But
I
what
can't
a
defend
weird
this.
what a weird platform to go. You know what? I'm gonna make a game for the CDI. You know,
I just
it was probably John Leguizamo and he was drunk.
That's right.
well, I mean, it was the same
Yeah,
thing.
I gotta
like,
make one
why
for
Thanks,
this.
John.
Why
Thanks,
are
John.
people doing homebrews exclusively for the Jaguar CD? Or,
John Leguizamo, the Italian guy.
I mean, I like it, dude. I think it's cool. I like having these cool games on weird platforms. That
Anybody
See, the
watching
fact
knows
is
John
support
Leguizamo. You
these
have him
games.
contact me. We'll meet in a parking lot somewhere.
yeah, you're a
Got a
little weird,
bone to
man.
pick.
Anyway, so something Rob had talked about is talking about retro gaming prices in 2022. So I'll hand that over to you, Rob. We talked about that, and I know we all have opinions. So.
Oh, I was just talking about how like I'd watched God, what was that movie? It just came out. Had like the Pixel Game Squad and all those guys in it.
Oh yeah.
The retro something. Anyways, there's that point in the movie where it literally the whole movie just shifts into just everything about WATA and just the markup of these games. So I don't know. I just lately as a collector, I find it frustrating to go anywhere and like even these mom and pop shops and thrift stores are starting to just look up prices now and not even like there's certain games that I get should have some kind of value to it, but there's no way that I should have to walk in and get like, you know, the Jetsons Save a Cat and it's like $300 because you know, the Jetsons are on it and it's retro. It's like, come on.
I mean, so I'll just say this: retro gaming stores, or gaming stores, period, I have a problem with because I haven't gone to a game store in a long time and found any sort of deal or like really good price to where it was something like, hey, this is actually something like a price I would want to pay. It's under, $10 under eBay. Everything's right at eBay price. Everything's
Or
above or more. Yeah, I mean, I see it all the time. Like, I can't. I have friends that own stores, and I'm not talking trash on them. I know a few of them watch this, but I just can't do it. Some of the prices of these games, it makes no sense. I mean,
well, I agree with you, Brandon, because at the end of the day, everybody has to put, they got to put, food on the table. But when are some people going to realize that thing that's sitting there on the shelf is just collecting dust?
it'll sit there forever.
It'll sit there forever. I mean, and the things that should be sitting there forever are like your Maddens and your NBA 2Ks and shit like that. That stuff, when that gets old, when the sports game gets old, it should just sit there forever. And that's not a problem. But it's like, there's so many different, I mean, there's eBay, there's Mercari, there's Facebook, there Craigslist, garage sales, swap meets, you name it. There's other places to go get this stuff. And it's okay. And when you're saying $10 under eBay, I'm not saying that people should be giving it away either.
Oh,
but
no,
but like that joystick that you got for the 3DO, show everybody that real quick. I know you got it there handy.
Yeah.
Now,
the prices I saw on eBay after I got this were stupid, but the guy
that thing's like $150.
I've had it in a box of junk forever. He said it's just been sitting there. I'm like,
yeah, and the guy said to you, everything in this bin is $5 each. I just want to get rid of it. So it's kind of like this. Do you want to sell it or do you want to take it home with you? Do you want to sell it or do you want to close your store on its very last day and go, well, we got all this crap we got to put in a storage because we didn't want to sell it. So Wada can kiss my ass. Sure, there might be some things out there that does have, just like Rob said, that does have an actual value to it. But at the same time, it's number one, it's just a damn game. And then Mark said a couple weeks ago something about disc rot. Yeah, well, all your DVD games and stuff like that, especially the ones that are Sega Saturn and older like that.
Saturn,
they're going to go bye-bye. So it's like that shit's going to be worthless on your shelf. Sell it, give it to somebody who wants to play with it now, or at least holy grail it or whatever. Because otherwise, we all know somebody who owns a game shop. I know a couple people right now, and there was somebody who used to own my favorite game shop of all time, Flashback in Amherst, Ohio. They're no longer in existence. And the thing is, do you want to sell it or do you want to keep it? You can be competitive.
So just as an example, all my Sega CD and Saturn I sold, and I sold all of it under eBay value. I said the disc rot stuff, it worries me, and it only specifically worries me for 3 systems: Sega CD, Saturn, and TurboGrafx CD. Those are the only ones I'm concerned about because I've seen it. So I sold those. I sold them all well underpriced. I probably sold all those within like a week. There was probably like 40 Saturn games, maybe like 15 CD games. I said, I'm selling these. They're going for a decent price. Like, things might drop later, but I'm going to sell them below because I'm friends with a lot of these people in the community, friends with people that own the store, and I just think it doesn't make sense to sell like one Saturn game for $800 and wait for that price. Like, yeah, one sold for that price. Doesn't mean yours is going to sell for that price. You might sit on it for 6 months.
When will it sell for that price again?
You got to find the right buyer for that. So it just doesn't make sense.
It feels like with all the retro prices getting jacked up, I think eventually that market's gonna just crumble underneath itself, and you're eventually gonna see all these prices just tank.
Well, recently somebody had a video, and I forget who it was, but somebody had a video on YouTube that was, why is the Nintendo 64 cartridge prices, why is that the only one that seems to be falling in price? And I still haven't watched that video. And it's just kind of like, that is kind of true, because a lot of those 64 games, unless they're like some of the really crazy ones. Hell, I remember Ogre Battle 64 back in the day. I would find those, someplace, and I would pick them up for like $250 and sell them for like $60 or $70. Yeah. But now they're they're really not going for. I mean, Harvest Moon, I don't know how much that's going for now.
About
But
100.
yeah, but by today's gaming standards, for what I was selling that game for, say 15, 16, 17 years ago, that game should be $300 by now. By today's standards, it's not. It's only $85 to $100.
Super Nintendo is kind of waning right now as well.
Super Nintendo is too.
Yes. NES is too. I've seen some like nothing crazy on NES. I've seen prices. All the NES games I have cataloged have all dropped. Everything's tanked. Everything.
Do you think it's going in waves?
Probably.
Maybe.
It got super hyped up probably during COVID, and then now everything's kind of back. A lot of newer games coming out, so this retro market kind of dying off now as you getting a bunch of new games starting to come out that people want to play. I think you'll just see it periodically. Maybe 10 years down the road, you'll see that these prices skyrocket probably back again.
Well, and it's the kind of like how Scott was saying. I mean, the price will climb so much up until the point that enough people just say no, it's not worth that.
It's
unsustainable
at that price.
We're getting
and then it'll trickle down.
I think, with collecting. I think it's getting to that point now where people are just like, I'll just wait.
I'll just
and
wait.
Then things are getting better with emulation.
But-
which, I'm not a fan of emulation myself, but
It's
these guys right here have changed my entire.
Yeah, I'll say when it comes to like
of gaming,
preserving older games, the best way is emulation. Whether you like it or not, it's the easiest way for like to preserve older games at a reasonable price, essentially.
And to revisit them.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I can't help but see that I think the biggest problem truly stems from the fact that there's just this false narrative that has been created, and that's just simply for your most average Joes, and that's that retro games are worth their weight in gold. Because everyone's read the headlines. Mario Brothers sells for $1 million.
Yes.
So you've seen all this shit happen, and I mean, it's just like Rob was saying. That's why all these thrift stores mark shit up. That's why Goodwill has storefronts called The Grid that literally just sell video games, and it's
they
owned
have
and
an
operated
online.
by Goodwill.
They have
their
online
auction.
I've been checking there every day. The stuff on there will blow your mind.
And it will sell above eBay sometimes.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck is going on?
Just saw that with a Saturn bundle.
Because then they jack it up, somebody's gonna buy it.
$3,000. Yeah.
Yep. Well, and then so now there's this secondary like market that used to be small, and now it's very large, and that's all of the what's the word I'm looking for? All the speculative investors. All the people that are buying these games because
just
they're
to
like, this is going to be great for my retirement portfolio.
They don't even care about gaming. They just want to buy it because then they can sell it and jack it.
Right.
Yeah, and that's fucking with us too, because I think a lot of people, like Rob said, I think a lot of people have reached the point where they're just like, no, this is too much, no more of this. But it's still being partially driven by these idiots that are like, no, it's totally worth it because it's going to be worth double in 5 years.
No, it's not.
Exactly.
These are the people that don't know the market.
Explain Atari games. Explain like 90% of Atari games. I mean,
okay, so here's my thing with that. I do have a theory that builds around that as well. Okay, so I think that it's a generational step. Certain consoles go through a particular period in the market where it fluctuates, and that is based on the interest of people who are at an age that they are recently coming into expendable funds that they did not have. So I'm going to say like late 20s, early 30s.
We're at like GameCube right now with that.
Late 30s to early 50s.
Exactly. Yes. So what happened with Atari is Atari values were kind of spiking during like the late 90s.
The crash.
Yeah.
Well, the crash
separated.
happened, and then the late 90s happened, and all that stuff kind of started to go up. And now what has happened, the reason it's dropped so much is because honestly, I think the collectors finally just started outgrowing their collections, and they were just like, no one cares about this. We were the last generation that cared about it. Just get it out. Just get it off these shelves.
Get it out of here.
Yeah, because they were like hitting their 50s. beyond their 50s, and it's just kind of like hey, I don't play these. It's just let them go. Just get the stuff out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree.
But I think that NES, in particularly, regular Nintendo, will continue to hold value because it is an iconic giant. Like, just its name in general, Nintendo is one of the most widely globally known brand names in the world. So I do think that, and
well,
I think
Atari was too, but they floundered horribly. So
well, this is true, and I think that could also jeopardize Nintendo's stuff down the road. But again, as long as they're staying relevant, I think
as long as they're staying relevant,
I think that there will be the attachment, the draw. It's like those are the original, those are historical Nintendo.
I do think what helps with the NES is when you get to the NES, the Super Nintendo, the Genesis. I do think there is a massive jump in gaming quality where people that may not have been able to play it's easier to go to like the 64, the SNES than it is direct to the Atari or Jaguar if you didn't grow up with it, because there's more content that can hold a younger generation to some of these games. I think will help.
I think that I mean, you got a more fleshed out experience. Obviously, the jump from like the 7800 or whatever, the 2600 to the NES, and also, I mean, Nintendo was kind of the one that saved video games there. They're the ones that got everybody back.
Kind of had that quality control on their games.
Yeah, they brought everybody back from the crash. So.
Yeah, they told everyone it was an entertainment system, and they put a robot in it, and everyone's like, "Oh, what is this?"
Yeah, right.
Oh, what, Rob? What else does Rob do?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Atari's burying games in the desert.
Right.
And they're like,
what game we talking about?
Is so cool
to see here.
They're so ashamed of their games.
All these shitty ETs, like, get rid of them. That game is. Listen, I'll say this. There's a lot of bad games on Atari. ET is not even one of the worst games on it.
No.
Like, it's a more playable game than
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man's a god-awful
Pac-Man.
shouldn't exist.
You have to play Mrs.
Pac-Man.
Game.
Okay, now, aside from some of the very, very early Atari games like Code Breakers and stuff like that, just the really rudimentary things, aside from that, when they actually started doing these action games and stuff like that, one of the worst games I ever had was the game Bugs. And I remember it had a silver, I don't remember who made it anymore, but it had a silver.
That, and it's actually a good game.
That game was so terrible. Oh my god.
That's on the Saturn too? The remake they made is on the Saturn's Bugs 1 and 2, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so.
The same people?
That's the remake?
Yeah. Pretty sure.
Are you sure it's just not a name? Just the name?
I'll look it up to
it's a Bugs Life game. There you go.
Because I mean, but it was very bad, and that's what was funny is just they went ahead and they buried. I mean, it wasn't just ETs they buried all kinds of games and stuff at that time.
It was a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and then people then they dug them up. And
not the same game, sorry.
But I just found this out recently after watching that, because I watched the documentary, but unless I missed it, I didn't know that they had laid cement down on top of that shit too. Yeah. Until I saw the Atari 50 collection, and I was just like, holy smokes, they overlaid cement?
Surprised they didn't try to build on top of it. Like, nobody will ever know these exist.
Yeah, they didn't want you to play those games again. They were embarrassed.
It's going to be like, what? No, we never made video games. We never did that.
But that was the thing is, there were a lot of good games that they were burying too. It was just because they needed a write-off, and they needed it badly. Yeah. So, but Brandon's right. E.T. is definitely not the worst. It's not a good game, but it's not the worst. I mean,
not the worst for sure.
It was just like the cyberpunk of the era.
Just without the ability to patch
live up to the hype.
I don't know if I go that far.
I'm not saying it's a good game at all, but I played a lot worse on the 2600 where I'm just like, God, this is terrible. Like, ET, you can actually play the game, so I don't know. I think it was just their what's the word I'm thinking of? They just penned it on that, and they're like, this is the last thing that came out, so we're tanking everything that happened on ET. It was a
Raiders of the Lost
historian thing.
The Raiders of the Lost Ark game and that game to me are very, very similar, and I liked the Raiders game kind of, sorta, but not that well. And then when ET came out, I said, well, it's basically the same game. But just, different coat of paint. And
ET has a hat and a whip now.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know, but
let me tell you what system has a lot of love right now. Tons of love going into it. ColecoVision. I'm seeing stuff. I've got a few homebrews that I've gotten. Like I got one, 2 this year. Oh, tons. I see people talking about games for it all the time. Bunch of stuff in the works. I don't know if you know about like Collector Vision, but they're always putting stuff out. ColecoVision. Like I see more support now for that than I do like the Atari 2600. There's a big following for it. Kind of surprises me. Yeah, it's pretty cool for sure. What was the other thing that I had on here talking about? Oh, wanted to see what you thought, Rob, about the modding scene right now. What's your thoughts on some of that?
Well, in what terms though? Like as far as like fixing up systems or just hacking and putting ROMs on?
More so, I think just kind of like the actual physical modding to it.
I think it's awesome where modding is going today. Companies have made it so easy now for people to literally to just jump in and do it themselves now. It's super easy. Retromodding.com and Handheld Legend, Game Boy Kingdom, those guys provide these simple drop-in screens now where the soldering is starting to go away. Yeah. I modded my first Game Boy back in 2017, and that's when you had to peel off the green
polarizer.
Yeah, yes. The polarizer, off the back of the glass. And if you
a terrible process.
Oh my god! And if you even just flinched a little, you shatter the whole glass. And you know that's so it's, believe me, it's come such a long way now that it's amazing that any of us now can just like, I don't do it anymore because these other guys have just taken the ball and run. And I love it. I mean, I support it because it's just gaming in the end, you know, a better enhanced version. So
I just love seeing some of the stuff coming out. Like it would, I guess it's not really a surprise, but like they're coming out with a new screen for the Turbo Express. Like there's one that's been out.
Yeah.
That there's enough love and support for that, which is awesome. That's one of the ones I do want to get done.
Oh wow! Yes. So there'll be a new mod that'll be nicer than the mod that's out now.
Yes.
Wow.
And
that's
a
nice
RGB.
Screen.
Yeah,
Nomad,
right, yeah.
Sega Nomad's getting it too. If you like the Sega Nomad.
Yep, I have. Where's my?
I miss my Nomad
over there by my Express, but yeah, actually, that's the only thing that I have modded right now. That's like outside of like a console. I've got like the Pico Boot and the GameCube, but I have my Nomad mod, but it's a composite. So
yeah,
I thought about getting that upgraded.
I started doing the Game Boy Advances after the Game Boys as well, and I remember like I thought I was like ahead of I was like revolutionizing the modding scene I was having stuff like etched on the back like Star Wars. I did like Star Wars mod, and on the back I'd have like Darth Vader, and like it was all etched on. It looked really awesome, you know. But I had this lady in town. She was doing the etching for me and stuff, and I'd have to give her a couple extra cases because she'd always make a mistake or two, and but man, to see these new ones, like, I mean, just full on laser print front ends, like a Luigi's Mansion Game Boy, cover, like all on the front of the Game Boy, just Luigi's Mansion, and like just having that backlit crisp, screen, and it's just really, it's such an awesome thing that's come a long way, and all the handhelds especially. So I think it's great.
They have a new upgraded screen for the Game Boy Micro. That blew my mind. It's already got a good screen.
Really?
So, yeah.
It's one of the best.
Yeah, it's the best, I would say. Yeah, crazy stuff, man. Like, the Pico Boot stuff is really, like, generally pretty damn easy. Like, if there's a mod that you're going to do, it's not like a just drop-in, plug-and-play mod. That one's super easy enough that I was able to do it, but...
yeah.
I mean, God, you don't even have to take out the drive anymore.
No,
awesome.
A lot of console systems, too, if you want to do, like, an HD mod or upgrade to them or become just... crazy easy. You just starting to just lay on boards now, basically, and just some ribbons, and bam, you're done. So, it's really awesome.
Done are the days of running.
Sega Nomad. I remember the first time I got a Nomad, I thought I was like, living the future here. I was bringing the Sega Genesis with me wherever I went. But then I realized as I started adding like the cartridge and then this giant battery pack.
Yeah, I got that on mine.
I was basically the first cell phone guy in the 80s. So with the
I remember that.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I was like, well, maybe this isn't so cutting edge after all. This thing's throwing my hip off.
They've got USB-C mods for the Nomad too and stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
thought about doing that. Thought about it.
Yeah.
I don't like the cutting mods is my issue where I have a problem.
No, and again, a lot of those are getting away from with the Dremel and stuff, where you can. There's a lot of them are just starting to drop in.
Like add in a spacer that gives you the ports, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love. Yeah, done are the days of installing mod chips and having to run like 20 or 30 fucking jumper wires and stuff.
And
Oh my
get them to
god.
the right length so they're either not in the way or they're tucked under. Oh my god.
Yeah. I always hated doing that.
Yeah,
That was always like the most time-consuming part. Is literally like laying down your figuring your traffic. How you have your wires laying so that they're not in the way of shit.
Yeah. I color coded all mine. It was the only way to keep track of that stuff. So I don't know if you know, but I started modding just because I didn't want to pay anyone else to do it for me. So
A better reason, hey.
and then it kind of took off, and that's how my page started. I started a page afterwards, and then just started showing all the different mods. And then I was actually selling a lot for a while, but I was surprised it took off as well as it did. I mean, I was just a dad working out of his kitchen, at night when the kids were sleeping. So
Nice.
but eventually I tailored the page more to just a platform for everyone to just and the modding hasn't been as much these days, which is good because I'm old and now I just want to just play my games and watch movies.
Well, if you
Sir, you are not old. You are wise.
I'll be 47.
Well, you're 47 years wise, not old.
47
Thank
years
you.
young. There you go.
Yes, or that.
He says he's old.
Are you not? Are you older than I am, Dr. Scott?
Yes.
Oh, well,
Scott's a vampire, though.
I was gonna
so-
say, dude, I couldn't even tell. So that's
Yeah, because at midnight I have to go out and suck the blood out of little children. So let's hurry it up, you guys.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Well, speaking of just wanting to sit down and talk, I don't know if you all talked about this in the past, but apparently there's a tweet back on the November 22nd. Apparently we're getting an old canceled game for the NES. It's actually getting a physical release for both that and the GBA. I think the game was called Airball.
Okay, I have to be real nitpicky here. Sorry, Mark. So you call the NES the NES, the SNES, but you don't call that the Gooba? I mean, I'm just making fun of people who say that, not you.
It's just how people see it. It makes sense. But the fact that after over 30 years, we're actually getting an actual console, an actual cartridge game for the NES, I think is pretty neat.
Who's making it? Just curious. Incubate.
I'm trying to figure out the game because it was tweeted out by the Retro Room on Twitter. I'm trying to figure out because this is an article that came out 3 days ago on Comic Books Gaming, their website.
Incubate has made some good stuff.
Yeah, I love them. I've bought all their stuff. For a while there too, there was another. I can't remember one company. They were making Lynx games.
I never heard of them. Who are they called?
Dang it. So not Song. I know you guys probably know Songbird. He does he finished. There was another company.
Love Songbird.
Yeah, they do some good stuff.
Okay, so the developer is Retro Room Games are the ones that also tweeted out.
Okay.
You have to go to their site to buy it. Apparently, it's not bad. Both versions of the game can be purchased with just the cart for $29.99 on their site.
What game is it?
Airball?
Airball it's getting a physical release for the NES and the GBA.
At least it's not Hairball.
Oh, GBA. Okay.
Yeah, it
And
was.
you said where is this?
It was
The cat
originally
game.
released on PC in '87. Was planned to get a NES release, but it never came out.
Interesting.
Where can we purchase this?
The Retro Room.
Big lots.
Retro Room's official
Oh
website.
yes, yeah. They put out a lot of Game Boy stuff, a ton. I've got a few of their.
But the fact that this is not just Game Boy, but they're also putting out on the NES as well, I think is pretty neat. After all these
super
years.
Cool. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, they've collabed with Limited Run Games for a few releases. I don't know if you guys know this. I actually should bring this up too. Limited Run right now has, let me pull it up, a new Game Boy game, and is actually being backed and developed for the first time by Crunchyroll, who is an anime service. They developed a game.
Well,
yeah.
they used to be.
And I don't really know what that means, but I'm probably missing something. But it's called Heim's Quest, and it's a Game Boy Color game, and it was an in-house developed Crunchyroll game. So super, super interesting. Yeah. I saw that the other day when I was looking on there. They've got
You're looking at Star Wars.
No, they've got the Astro City 5. They actually put more stock up on there, and it's still available now. I'm wanting to grab that.
Well, now you know that's a V for vertical.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, that's actually
that's what
cool.
I meant. Yeah, I meant to say that.
You mentioning that though makes me want to go. Yeah, I missed the vertical.
I've got the first
dropped
one.
it.
The first one's I really, really like it. So yeah, I got to grab that. They got that style kit bundle with the little chair and all that shit. So
Those are so cute.
Yeah, I know. I thought it just looks like a cool little piece. But they also added on there Glay Lancer for the Genesis, which, as you know, is a super expensive game.
Oh yeah, they just covered that on who just covered that? I think Sega Lord X.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone covered that. Someone did.
And then Battletoads and Double Dragon is getting another release.
Well, we talked about that last week. Yeah, I can't wait to get. I mean, Battletoads. That's one I'd love to get hold of. But Glay Lancer, that's one I really want to get hold of, especially since it's going to be English translation now and everything. So,
right. They also got they're getting ready to take down. I think there's 2 days left for the Neo Geo Pocket Collection 2, Volume 2, the Switch. Really cool. I do not understand the price point on it's also last chance for those, but the Yars Revenge and Centipede on Atari for $100.
Yeah, dude, $100.
For $100.
That either.
Here's why.
I mean,
it lights up. It does all that stuff. Whatever.
Oh, God, man, I better do more than light up. It better do my laundry and make me food every day for $100.
Retro Recipes got one, and they plugged it in, and they were really happy about it. They thought it was really cool, but it's not worth $100. If it was like $60, maybe even $75, maybe, but I think the sweet spot for that would be like $55. There you go.
I don't know.
Well, here, Brandon, what's your take on these? I bought some of these a while back. I still can't decide if it was a good move or not.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Do you remember when they did these? These are Amiga games.
Amiga?
Oh. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember them doing those.
Yeah.
I was going to grab those myself, and I don't know. It's a hard one because, like, I mean, where's the Amiga?
Well, yeah, right. Like, is this thing even going to come out at this point? I heard. Yeah, I heard something recently. I think it was damn.
I remember who was talking about it. Too, so I would have been doing the same thing that you're doing.
But yeah, I mean, these prices were a lot easier to swallow.
Yes.
Than $100 for a fucking old Atari game.
But a physical game, and what? Correct me if I'm wrong. There was like a thing with those where it's not really like the game on the cartridge, right? And there's some ordeal where
it's on there.
But there's an NFT in them.
Okay, so it's something different. Is. Yeah, it was something different.
NFT where the game, on there.
You're getting scammed.
Interestingly,
really,
they're worth millions.
Interestingly, though, John Hancock and
Brett Weiss did.
Not Brett Weiss. Retro Recipes, when they both got their Yars Revenge, the ROM, the PCB was in backwards. And
I remember that.
I remember that.
Now John opened his up. He took the label off and everything. That was pretty cool. Retro Recipes, they weren't even going to do that. They're like, no, we just contact them there. We'll send you a new one out. Sorry about that. And I guess there was a whole batch like that. And that's kind of accidents happen, but at least it's not Red Ring of Death.
That's just a straight collector thing at that point. You know what I mean? There's nothing. Yeah. I don't see that holding the $100 value if you're looking to resell ever.
Well, listen,
God, that one.
Yeah, I'm an Atari fan myself, but it's just like it's Yars Revenge, and I forget what the other one was.
Centipede.
And I Centipede on the Atari 2600
So-
is rough.
It's rough. So let me get your guys' take on this one. I had sent something out. I like this, and I have a few reasons why. So recently, Limited Run put something out in the news that they were going to start covering more arcade and pre-NES related stuff, right? So
Yeah.
they I'm sure you guys know about the Atari VCS and all the stuff with that, how it got exclusive on quote unquote games, and they weren't actually exclusive. So those are the Atari Recharge games, and those actually almost instantly got put on everything else because the VCS failed. So
Yep.
Limited Run is doing a collection for PS5 and Switch. They're not even doing PS4. For Atari Recharge Collection 1 and 2. So that's everything that has been put out. I think it's all the titles that have been put out for VCS.
It's not.
Because this says here, it says complete Atari Recharge Collection for both. It says, just under their description, I'm just reading their thing. Asteroids Recharge, Breakout Recharge, Black Widow, Centipede, all games that were originally released for Atari VCS. And then it says all the descriptions of the games. So I don't know.
Maybe like all the launch titles, essentially, or something.
Maybe. My thing is about this is that like you can buy them individually or in a dual pack, and you get 2 games. Like you get PS5 game, you get 2 of these Recharge games on there, and it seems weird. That's such a small collection.
It's not worth it. Number one. Number two,
I don't think it is either.
I don't. I mean,
and I kind of want them.
I'm looking at
It's literally 2 games.
2 Atari games on a PS5 card. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems wasteful.
Yeah,
well, it's
exactly.
Black Widow Recharged and Centipede Recharged on collection number 2, and it is only 2 games, but that's only 2, and then the other one has what? Is it 3, Brandon? I'm looking at it too. Is it also 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's crazy because of all of those games, the best one to come out, they don't even have it on here. They don't have Yars Recharged on here at all.
So my guess is they're going to do something with that too.
It'll be a new series, and they'll just release series 3 that has 2 more games.
It's not worth it.
Seems wild to me. Yeah. What if you're interested in something though? Something they are offering now. I think it's up on their last chance. That usually means 3 days. Let me look. This is a Konami Anniversary Collection Arcade Classics, and this includes Scramble, Twinbee, which Twinbee is a good game. I don't care what anybody says.
No, it's good.
Scramble's
Nemesis, also known as Gradius, which everybody knows. Salamander / Life Force, Typhoon / Ajax, Haunted Castle, Vulcan Venture, also known as Gradius 2, and Thundercross. Here's the issue with this, and this is why I'm bringing this one up. I've seen stuff about all this all week. The issue with this, if you were to get like the actual like quote unquote big collector's edition, is currently up for pre-order for $160. So you are getting how many is that? 8 arcade games for $160. Yeah, it's got some stuff in it. It's got a few things. It's the usual Limited Run stuff, nothing crazy. That just seems wild to me. You got an art book, you got a steel book, a poster, a coin, a mini arcade cabinet replica, it's paper, and
cardboard.
a little metal figure. Yeah, it's a good collection if you're buying the standard, which was only what was that? I forget. $34.99. $34.99. Yeah, that's a huge jump up for what's really a bunch of filler crap.
I can't help but feel like a large majority of Limited Run stuff is cash grabs these days.
Yeah,
they're gonna do it, make some money.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, especially since Limited Run is, since they got bought out here, about 2-3 months ago. So now their overlords are going, all right, we got to make this investment work. Get more money, more stuff, more money. So there you go.
And then I did have one more thing that I did want to bring up that I have. a limited run now doing AAA releases. What's your thought on that? This is now their second one they're doing that on.
A what?
The Star Wars Jedi.
The Star Wars.
Jedi. It's $300, and you get the lightsaber.
But you gotta buy the blade separately.
Is this the exclusively like the special edition for the game?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
They will be the sole handlers of it.
I mean, it makes sense for them from a business aspect, trying to make more money, dabbling into more current stuff as well. As long as it doesn't take away from some of the older what they've been doing, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
They're handling the Dead Space one as well.
Yeah, but when
right.
do they, when do they stop becoming limited run and they start becoming regular run?
Right.
I mean, I guess that's a whole argument, right? Like
they're almost there with the whole open pre-order system.
They got a physical store. They said they're expanding 5 stores. They have 5 in mind.
So I think they need to rebrand because they're not limited run anymore.
They're not going to rebrand. The brand's established. They're just going to change their business strategy, and they're just going to keep the name.
From a person who makes brands, I'm a graphic designer. That's called sarcasm.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. I was too stupid to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a weird thing with the name, but I can't imagine them changing.
I think it'd be smart if they went back to the same style that they used to, did the limited run stuff, and did a spin-off secondary company that handled all that other stuff. So that way you have limited run doing their thing, and then you have the other guys doing their thing with all your newer games and stuff like that, and build that up and open stores and stuff like that. Because I tell you what, they're going to be doing a lot better than GameStop will, because GameStop is laying people off left and right. They're floundering their eyeballs out. I mean, we could really get into all their missteps and what they should be doing, but no. I mean, limited run, they've got their shit figured out. Whereas GameStop, they're falling down the damn stairs.
Yeah, I don't know. It is a whole weird thing because of their name, but I can't imagine them rebranding the name. They've already
they won't.
No. Like I said, that was sarcasm. If anything, what they should do is spin off a secondary company for all their other stuff.
Yeah,
because
call it like Collector's Run or something.
Something like that, because there have been plenty of people who are out there in the business, whether they be YouTubers or streamers or whatever. They're all saying the same thing that we're saying, and they're all making the same mean jokes that we're making. You're not limited run anymore because now your shit's everywhere. It's not limited if it's not limited. I mean, it's in the name. It's not limited anymore if everybody can get hold of it on pre-order and stuff like that.
Spin-off. We're not limited anymore.
Now we're spin-off games.
And
how about I like that. We're not limited anymore. Unlimited games.
Unlimited.
I will be the first to say that, I mean, I'm not necessarily upset that, so many things that they do now aren't limited. What's upsetting is, I guess, just the way that they price some of the stuff and the way that they market it is kind of the issue, And it's like, I mean, if entice me to buy this, if you're literally just gonna make however many people can order, put better shit in it, or maybe put a better price tag on it,
The weird thing is
they used to, but now they don't.
Yeah. Exactly.
Both of these AAA releases are $300. Both of them, Dead Space and
Crazy
Jedi Survivor.
I mean, they could be limited
because
if it's like a short-term special edition release, that's still technically limited.
It's not. The Dead Space one has been up for over a month.
Yeah, but everything is quote unquote limited. I mean, how many of those editions did they have with the Halo helmet for 3? How many of those statues did they have for the what was that, the Titanfall? I mean, that thing was sweet. And it was expensive too, but that was very limited too. These guys, they're just the distributor now. They're basically just the distributor now. And somebody's just going, let's go through limited run, limited run's the one actually reaching out.
They do that. They do distribution now, but they have a whole separate.
That's different. Yeah, their distro's different for that.
Yeah, so it's I don't know. Handling the AAA releases seems a little weird, but I mean, it's a company that is not going to turn down money. I can't imagine that.
I mean, it just shows the company's
good for it.
It shows the
They're
company's growing, so.
And they can't
Yeah.
keep stuff on the store or like on their store shelves for that store they have. Apparently, like the restock is crazy on it.
Yeah, but a lot of that also has to do with the fact what we were all talking about earlier. The people going, well, it's limited run and people are going to want it. And oh my gosh, and then it's going to create a need for it. And then if I put it on my shelf and I keep it for 2 years and I can sell it for like $150 more than I paid for it. Yep. No, some of that stuff is like that. But if you've got the hole in your head and you actually want to pay that, you go ahead. If you're chasing Celeste for $300, go get it.
It's wild because I followed them, obviously, Vita when they were releasing games on that really nobody cared about. It was like a niche market. Like, that's my whole thing.
I wish they put out more Vita stuff.
Well, I think they hung up their hat for Vita, didn't they? I think they officially
they did.
at one point they're done doing Vita.
They did that Super Meat Boy.
That's unfortunate.
That was the last thing. Yeah, it kind of is, man.
Brandon, did you get one of the coins?
I did not. Did you?
I did, and I had no fucking clue what it was for like a couple of weeks, and I saw someone mention it on the somewhere like a Facebook group. It was like, oh yeah, shit, I got one of those things too. What is that about? And I guess from what I understand is they were sending those to people
that have been with them.
Yeah, I guess since like the first year that they were in business.
Yeah, I apparently I was on board for that first year. I don't know what the deal was. I've been buying from them for a long time, so yeah, I saw that. I was a little bit disappointed in that. It's a bummer, but
I mean, yeah, I remember at one point I was actively trying to collect and have like a full collection of limited run stuff.
Yeah.
But that was also before they were doing Switch, when they had got to like release like 16 or 17, and they dropped like 1 or 2 games a month.
A month, yes. Yeah, it was feasible then.
Yeah, nowadays
there's people still trying to do it, and I'm like,
that's absurd. That is absurd.
You've got 900 Switch games you haven't opened. Are you kidding me?
And those are the same people who are right now have a cat that's packing their bags going, if you don't feed me tomorrow, I'm leaving.
Probably.
There's people doing it. You would see some wild stuff in those Facebook groups. But you guys got anything else for tonight, guys? Like anything else anybody wants to mention? Rob?
No, awesome just being here. You guys are great. Thanks.
Appreciate having you on for sure.
No, pleasure having you, sir.
Been a fun episode. All right, folks, we'll end here tonight. We'll be back again next Sunday, as always. And I think after that, we've got our pre-recorded show, right?
One of them.
Am I right? Yeah, one of two.
Interrupted?
No.
Oh.
No, you're fine. You're good. You're good. No worries. All right, guys. Appreciate you being on here, Rob. Appreciate everybody else being on here. And you guys have a good night.
All right, real quick, Rob, did you want to plug into your socials real quick, or?
Yes.
Oh no, I do it for fun. People know who I am that are watching, so yeah. So no, I appreciate you guys. It's awesome. Thanks again though for everything.
Yeah, no problem.
Are you gonna run through our sponsors?
Oh, yeah, might want to do that.
Come on, bro.
Do you have those pulled up, Mark?
Which
read us out.
Actually, I don't. I closed the drive. I can pull it back up in a second, though.
Does anyone?
Or actually, I'll just do this.
I think I remember them because it's you got Dubby.
So we got Dubby.
There's Dubby, Crayola, Haynes, and I believe Master TT. Yeah.
All right, so I can run.
I mean, I can run
Patreon. Okay, go ahead. Sure.
All right, because I pulled it up on screen as well. So have a shot at the Dubby Energy, official sponsor of the Game Junction Podcast. 10% off energy mix with game code GameJunction1. It's all lowercase, GameJunction1. We also have on Bonfire, and all these will be linked they should be linked in the description below. Some T-shirts and other stuff from Bonfire. Oh, that's everything that we got on there.
That's all our merch, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to plug. I know those are the two big ones.
Yes.
Reaper Apparel.
Yeah. So that wasn't on here. So.
Yeah.
That's
same,
the one that I needed you to add, Shane. What's the code? Game Junction 1 for that?
Yes, same exact code. Game Junction 1.
Okay, so for Reaper Apparel, I don't have our full thing that we normally say. It's not on there for some reason.
Yeah, I don't
But
have
Yeah,
the
code
what's
code.
it?
is- the code is-
ReaperApparelCo.com. Made for those who refuse to die slowly.
Slowly.
Yes.
He remembers the script.
And then we
head on
got
over
our,
there. Game Junction 1, 10% off
Sure.
your whole order.
we've got our
have to get that one added.
Patreon. Support us and get the extra scoop on all things Game Junction, including discounts on merch, exclusive content, live streaming with us live. That's what live streaming is. And a special role in Discord. It's patreon.com/GameJunction. And that's a game_junction. And then we have our Buzzsprout affiliate link, which will be in the description below. It's too much to say here. A long
It's like a
ass
paragraph.
thing. Good old paragraph.
You need to
And
hire
I
that
think
guy that could talk really fast.
like that, yeah. But
Used
I,
to do
I
the
think
Micro
that,
Machines commercial.
Yeah, right.
I remember that, yeah. I do think that is all we've got, and we appreciate everybody watching, and have a good night.
See y'all later. Peace.
Time, guys.
Thanks.
See y'all.
Bye.